Hello folks out there in TV land and Damien. I got this new Kilner butter churn. Got it online and thought we'd try it out and see what we could do with it. Now we took 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream and we've put in our jar right here, and we'll put these paddles down in it and we'll sit here and crank. It says 10 minutes, I'm thinking more like 30 or better. But we'll do this for the next 10 to 30, 45 minutes. And we'll come back to y'all later whenever we have a little progress. Wish me luck and hope my arm don't fall off. Oh, hey, well, we're about 10 minutes in. Got a little bit foamy is all. It's not started making any kind of butter, or I'm sure it's making progress. I'm gonna still crank some more. My arm's holding up fine, by the way. We'll be back with y'all again. We'll check back in a few minutes. Hey folks, we're about 30 minutes in, maybe just a little over. We've started getting pretty foamy and starting to thicken up a little bit. Here in the next little bit, it ought to start separating. We ought to start seeing little chunks of butter floating around. So I'm going to continue cranking. And y'all just sit out there and know my arm's hurting. All right, we'll be back with you in just a little bit. All right, folks, we're having a whole lot of progress right now. It's been about 35 minutes, and we're getting chunks forming in this thing, and it's hard to churn. It's tough. You want to move in closer here, you can see how the chunks are forming. And it is hard to turn. It's throwing my butter out and separating it. Alright folks, we wound up and we have butter. We have it completed on the inside. It has separated and pulled our butter out to the side of it, and it's hanging on the edges up here. So we're going to open this thing up. And there's our butter. A little bit more down on in the bottom there. Well, I said a whole lot more. We're going to take and drain off what they call the buttermilk. And I'm sure Damien will use this to fix us some cornbread or biscuits. You know, Damien's real good at homemade biscuits. I can't cook biscuits. So we're going to give this to him. So we'll have double pleasure. I don't know really for sure how to do this, but I think I'll get it all back down inside here and get it out at one time. This is a little bit tedious of a process. And we're going to lay this to the side. And I dropped a piece of here. Look at all that butter down inside my jar there. Okay, I'm going to try to get it all in a little ball. See how I'm going to try to get it all in a little ball so that I can bring it out in one chunk. We're going to put it inside of this ice water to try to get it down cold where you can handle it. Because with it being at room temperature, you can't hardly deal with it. Now the purpose of this, mashing it, we're going to have to mash it, and the purpose is to get all the milk out of it, because the milk will make it go rancid. So we're going to do this a few times. We'll process this out and rinse this butter off and get the milk out of it. And then we're going to come back and show you what it looks like after we get it all rinsed. We're going to do this process right here 2 or 3 times. Take a few minutes. But we'll be right back. Alright guys, we've been sitting here trying to mash the milk out of this butter. Now we're going to take and move it over here to our wax paper, and we're going to try to mash this a little bit and mash some of the liquids out of it. The water, the milk, and it's gotten real cold. That's what the ice is supposed to do. It's supposed to make it where you can manage it a little bit, because when it's room temperature, it'll stick all over you. So we're going to do this a little bit and get the fluid, get the liquid out of it, work it around a little, and we're going to move it over into our bowl. After we move it into our bowl, we're going to put us a little salt, because we like salted butter. You can season it with whatever you like. If you like garlic butter, you can throw your little garlic seasoning powder in there, salt, and make your own garlic butter. You can make a honey spread. There's so many things that you can add to it to flavor your butter. So at this time, we're going to move it over here into this bowl. I think it looks like it's chunked good enough and dry, and the fluid liquid is out of it. I don't know why I keep calling it fluid, but it's the liquid. So I've never done this before, so I don't really know how to season it, but I do want salt in it. So I'm just going to salt it like I was salting to cook, and hope that that's going to be enough and not too much. Alright, I think that ought to be enough butter to suit enough salt to suit me. So we're going to stir this in. Try to make it mix into it, which it is really, really firm. Just like my grandma used to do, I'm not satisfied on the salt, so I'm going to throw me a little more salt in there. I'm going to throw some over my shoulder like she used to do. Do it the old-fashioned way. We're making butter, so we turned butter. So I guess this is old-fashioned butter with an old-fashioned cooking way. And let me tell you, moving this butter around is kind of tough, because it is definitely firm. And I think that's going to be mixed good enough. I've got it massaged through. So we're going to take a break just for a second so we can set up to form it, and we'll be through with it. Alright folks, we've dumped our butter out on a tray here, and we're kind of shaping it and forming it just so that we can put it up and use it. We'll store it this way in the refrigerator, wrap it up, use it as we need it. So it's just according to how pretty you want it here, how flat. how big you want it, how long. But we're about 1 hour from the time we started cranking on making the butter till we're finishing up. So it's been about 1 hour in is what it has taken us to make our own homemade butter. Thank you, Damien, for being my cameraman.